Silence is powerful, more powerful than anything you could ever say, because when you stop speaking, you don't disappear, you become unforgettable. Let me tell you something strange about human nature. The more you try to explain yourself, the more your words lose their weight. But the moment you go silent, truly silent, something shifts. Suddenly, they start hearing things you never even said. Have you ever noticed how the loudest people are often forgotten, but the quiet ones stay in your mind for years? It's not an accident. There was a man who once kept sending long messages to someone he loved, paragraphs full of emotions, explanations, apologies. But she barely responded. Then one day, he stopped. No more texts, no more effort, just silence. And that's when everything changed. She started checking her phone, rereading old conversations, wondering, why did he stop? The same words she ignored before now echoed in her mind louder than ever. Because silence does something words cannot. It creates space, and in that space, imagination, curiosity, and emotion begin to grow. As the philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. In this video, we're going to explore why silence has this strange psychological power and how sometimes saying nothing says everything. Part 1. Silence creates mystery. When you constantly speak, explain, and reveal everything, there is nothing left to discover. You become predictable, safe, understandable. But human beings are not drawn to what is fully known. They are drawn to what feels just out of reach. Silence creates that distance. Think about it like a movie. If the entire plot is revealed in the first 5 minutes, would you stay until the end? Of course not. The tension, the curiosity, the mystery, that's what keeps you watching. In the same way, when you go silent, you become a story they cannot finish. They begin to wonder, what are they thinking? Why did they stop talking? Did I lose them? And these questions loop endlessly in their mind. Carl Jung once said, the most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm. But before that calm comes uncertainty, and silence is what creates that inner conflict. Imagine someone who always replies instantly, always available, always explaining. Now imagine that same person suddenly disappears into silence. That silence doesn't push people away, it pulls their attention inward, because now they have to do the thinking. Reflective takeaway, the less you reveal, the more they imagine. And imagination is far more powerful than reality. Part 2. Silence triggers emotional echoes. There's something almost haunting about silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that comes after words were expected but never arrived. Because silence doesn't end a conversation. It continues it inside the other person's mind. When you speak, your words are limited, controlled, defined. But when you go silent, their imagination takes over. And imagination has no limits. They begin replaying everything, your last message, your tone, that one moment you hesitated, that one look you gave, and suddenly, they start filling in the gaps. Maybe they think, did I say something wrong? Or are they losing interest? Or even, do they mean more than I realized? This is what psychologists often call emotional echo, when an experience continues to resonate long after the moment has passed. And silence amplifies that echo. It's like shouting into a canyon. Words disappear quickly, but silence makes the echo linger. Even Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." Because sometimes the absence of words forces deeper reflection than words ever could. Think about the last time someone suddenly went quiet on you. Did you forget them, or did you think about them even more? Exactly. Real-life analogy. It's like a song that stops right before the final note. Your mind keeps playing it, over and over, trying to complete it. Reflective takeaway. When you remove your voice, you become their inner voice. And that's where true emotional impact begins. Part 3. Silence reveals your true value. There's a quiet truth most people learn too late. When you're always there, people forget what it feels like to miss you, not because they don't care, but because human nature adapts quickly to what is constantly available. Your presence becomes normal, expected, almost invisible. But silence changes that. The moment you step back, the moment your energy is no longer constantly present, something subtle yet powerful happens. They begin to feel the gap you left behind, and that gap speaks louder than anything you ever said. It's like oxygen. You don't think about it when it's there, but the moment it's gone, it becomes the only thing that matters. The same applies to your attention, your time, your words. Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength, because in silence you stop trying to prove your worth and allow others to realize it on their own." Think about relationships where one person keeps giving, explaining, chasing, and the other slowly becomes distant, passive, indifferent. Now imagine the shift when the one who was always giving suddenly stops. No anger, no explanation, just quiet distance. That silence forces a realization. Maybe I took them for granted. Maybe they mattered more than I thought. Real-life analogy. It's like a light that's always on in a room. You barely notice it, but the moment it goes off, you realize how much you needed it. Reflective takeaway. Value is not proven through constant presence. It is revealed through meaningful absence. Part 4. Silence gives you power and control. Most people think power comes from saying the right thing at the right time. But real power, it comes from knowing when to say nothing at all. Because when you react instantly, when you explain, defend, or chase, you give the other person control over your emotions. Your words become responses, not choices. But silence breaks that pattern. Silence is not weakness. Silence is restraint, awareness, control. It says, I am not desperate to be understood. I am not afraid of being misunderstood. I choose my energy instead of giving it away. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And silence is the embodiment of that power. Because when you stop reacting, something unexpected happens. They start reacting. They start wondering. They start reaching. They start feeling the emotional weight you once carried alone. Not because you manipulated them, but because you finally stepped out of the noise and into your own center. Real-life analogy. Imagine a storm trying to shake a mountain. The storm is loud, chaotic, desperate, but the mountain, silent, still, unmoved, and in that stillness lies unshakable power. So here's the truth most people never realize. Silence is not about ignoring others. It's about returning to yourself. It's about choosing peace over proving a point. It's about letting your presence be felt without forcing it to be seen, because the people who truly value you will hear your silence louder than your. And those who don't, no amount of explanation would have changed that anyway. So the next time you feel the urge to say everything, pause. Because sometimes the most powerful message you can send is nothing at all.